So the Georgia cop that killed a 16-year-old girl by the name of Susana has officially been charged with her murder.
On July 26th at approximately 6 p.m., we know that Susana Morales left her home on Santa Ana Drive in Norcross and walked a short distance to the Sterling Glen apartment complex on Indian Trail Road. There, she met with her friend for about 4 hours, and at about 10 o'clock, she began her trek back to her house. We know that between 10 and 10:30 p.m., Susana had an interaction with an individual and ultimately was not seen or heard from again.
And that individual is the cop. I don't know why he's not saying who it was and acting like it's just like some random citizen. But yeah, cop saw her, came up to her, convinced her to get into the car, and then killed her. And we are supposed to sit here and look at cops and be like, yeah, we can always trust these people to protect us. And then come to find out, no, these cops are killing people. Killing your friends, your families, your neighbors, and then acting like nothing is ever wrong.
This case was immediately assigned to our Criminal Investigations Division, who worked diligently on this case and followed up on a number of leads and tips. However, those leads and tips did not come to fruition. We know that on February the 6th, a citizen who was walking in the area of Drowning Creek Road and Highway 316 happened upon skeletal remains. The Gwinnett County Police Department sealed that crime scene. The Gwinnett County Medical Examiner took custody of those remains, and they were positively identified as having belonged to Susana Morales. The following morning, February 7th, we brought out a large contingency of police personnel and conducted a methodical and meticulous search known as a grid search. And during that search, we located a firearm that had been reported stolen on July 27th. This is the same day that Susana was reported missing. That firearm we traced back to a 22-year-old former Doraville police officer named Miles Bryant. Bryant then became a person of interest in our case. We continue investigating, and on February 13th, we secured warrants for concealing the death of another.
He was not a former police officer. At that time, he was charged, if I remember correctly. He was only fired after he was accused of murder. So at that time, he was murdering people as a cop.
Since that time, our criminal investigators have been working this case continuously, and we have reached a threshold to where these charges have now been upgraded to felony murder and kidnapping charges.
There's been some reports that there was another woman who had some issues with Bryant. Do you guys believe there are additional victims that either may have been killed by him or may have had some other kind of harmful interaction with him?
So to be clear, we have no information at this time linking Miles Bryant to have harmed someone in a similar fashion. What we do know is that in 2018, Miles Bryant lived next door to a neighbor. We know that in 2018, he went to this neighbor's house and allegedly tried to enter the house through a window. The police were called. We conducted an on-scene investigation. Miles Bryant countered that argument or that allegation. The homeowner in that case did not wish to prosecute, and so that case ultimately was resolved.
Wow, I don't even know if he was a cop at that time, but if he wasn't and he was still hired, that's pretty wild for the cops to hire a dude that tried to break into somebody's house. Maybe he was a cop at the time, which is why the person dropped the charges. I don't know. But these cops need to do better on the people they hire instead of hiring, people that are going to be murdering everybody. But we all know why the cops were created. They're not there to actually protect citizens, as the U.S. Supreme Court states that cops aren't required to protect you. Um, they're just there to generate revenue for the state.
There is a 2022 case, December of 2022, in which Miles Bryant visited the home of an acquaintance. We believe that he may have tried to enter a residence, and we're conducting an investigation on that case. We do believe that warrants are forthcoming.
Well, so they had two previous incidents where they had problems with this officer and nothing really came of it. And that's what happens with a lot of cops. They'll do something criminal and then nothing really happens about it because they're cops. Either they find a way to uh, hide away the evidence, or the other people drop the charges because it's cops and they don't want to deal with retaliation. It's This is why we need a police reform, and this is why defund the police matters, because we need to defund these types of people and use that money for better things in the community. And then instead of having, murderers being paid to murder people. If you like my content, drop a like, subscribe, or a comment. Check out my links below. Peace.